From age 15 to 20, I was in a toxic relationship, and in today's video, I am going to talk about that. Um, there are a few reasons why I didn't talk about it as yet with you because number one, I feel extremely vulnerable even putting myself on the internet, and then it's like such a sensitive issue about my life. I just didn't feel comfortable. But this thing that I share everything that I go through with my subscribers, no matter what is happening in my life, the good, bad, everything, I do talk about it. I always tell you how much like I have achieved in life and everything. But this is a very dark phase or dark side of my life that I just don't feel the courage of putting in words because the anxiety that so many strangers are gonna know my story used to bug me a lot. But then this thought also comes in my mind that since I'm showing a very good side of my life to you, if I don't show this, somehow I feel like I'm not being very authentic to you. And it's not fair. The next thing that was stopping me from making this video is the weight of my own emotions. I had started shooting this video a couple of times, to be honest, about 3 months ago and about 6 or 7 months ago, and every time I would end up in a position that I can't even speak anymore. I guess even now you can sense sort of a tension and a nervousness in my voice, but I think it's finally time to talk about it because so many of you have gone through the same things that I have, probably, or even worse. So many men and women get into relationships that are not very good for them in the name of love and everything, and they don't even understand that it's toxic. If you are watching this video and you can relate to it on some level, I hope that you learn from me, and you will also learn some things from my experience. And also, I think after sharing these things with you, I myself will feel very light. This is one part of my life that I feel very hard to acknowledge, basically because I want to think myself as the strong boss lady and someone who achieves everything that she wants, and I work really hard for achieving my goals. But I need to accept that at one point I was really weak, and certain things did happen to me that I still find it very hard to accept that it happened to someone like me. But it's okay, I'm a normal girl. I was weak, but those experiences have made me strong, and in today's video I'm gonna share it with you. I'm not really sure if I'm gonna put it out on the internet, even I'm shooting this right now in my room. But if I have, and if you're seeing this, thanks for staying, and thank you for listening to me. I found it very necessary to make this video because a lot of you guys actually noticed the things I was going through, because I guess in many videos it was kind of clear, even though I was not talking about it, that I was literally in shadows. So yeah, I'm really thankful to you for noticing that. So yeah, let's start. So when I was about 15 years old, that is in the 10th standard, I got into my first serious relationship. I would say it was pretty long term. It went on for about 5 years, and in those 5 years I could not even recognize who the hell I have become. So it started like very normally, like most teenage relationships start, I guess. Someone tells you that they like you, you like them back, and you're like, okay, let's get in a relationship. And everything was going fine for, I guess, the first 6 months of that relationship. I'm not gonna name anyone, by the way. I'm just gonna refer to that person as he. Everything went fine for about 6 months before there was a guy who was actually his best friend, or let's call the best friend A. I was also a good friend of A, and suddenly during the carnival he sees me and A together, and he's like, you need to stop talking to A forever and something like that. And I was like, no, I'm not gonna do that. But as it happens, when you're so young and someone is like literally pressurizing you into stopping to talk with someone, you are like, okay, you love this person. And at this point, looking back, I know that it was nothing like love. It was just sort of a dependency, sort of a seeking for validation and attention of someone, I guess, which most of us do want. Like, most of us are growing up in families where we are probably not feeling as we want to. We are unhappy with other relationships as well, and at that position, if someone comes and tells you that you matter to them, you suddenly feel like, okay, this person needs to be special. But it's not always like that. Okay, love should not, you know, make you feel like you're in a cage. Love should nurture you. It should make you a better person. And if somewhere you're feeling that you're feeling trapped, suffocated, etc., my darling, it's not love. Okay, this is what I wish I could have told myself when I was younger. But okay, so I stopped talking with A. That was the first time the relationship started getting toxic. and it would get worse slowly. But yeah, back then I didn't even know the meaning of the word toxic. I'm pretty sure even you didn't. Like 3 years before, no one probably was aware of terms like abusive relationships, toxic relationships. But now it's like much more out there, which I'm really glad about. More people should know, especially girls go through a lot in abusive and toxic relationships. If you're someone who's going through something like this, if you're in a suffocating relationship, please get out of it. I swear to God, the world outside is so beautiful. You're missing out on a lot. But yeah, no one told 15-year-old Saheli that she was not Heli yet. So she just broke her friendship with this guy A and continued on. At this point, I also got my first freelancing gig, which I speak a lot about, how I made my first 110 rupees, and it's such an inspirational story. What got ugly after that is that my parents did not really approve that, because they were not aware of the fact that people can make money online. So they told me that I shouldn't work or something. I told him that I got this gig, and I don't know what exactly happened. Honestly, it is so old, that whole incident. But I remember he kind of started saying stuff like, I am someone bad in character. I probably have some kind of bad intentions with that guy who gave me the job. I can assure you it was a strictly professional relationship, just like most professional relationships are. But yeah, he was not very supportive back then. I used to write in a Facebook page. When we had one fight, he made me unpublish that Facebook page. Basically, that means like deleting that Facebook page. So with that, I lost all the works that I had written in class 10 and 11, I think. So yeah, that's how one of the most precious things to me was gone. And these are just like the major incidents. There were a lot of like minor things that I had to lose out on. For example, in the 11th standard, my class teacher asked me if I want to be the prefect, and I was like, okay, yes. And then he volunteered to be the prefect, and the class teacher didn't choose him, so he started threatening me that I should quit the role. And only goal then was to pacify him, because every time we had a fight, it would get damn ugly, and I can't even tell you how ugly he was. He would say things that would make me feel very bad about myself, and basically things that would hurt me so much that I would prefer not to even go down that lane. So I would do literally anything so that he won't get mad at me. I was scared. I was literally scared. And if you're feeling scared of the person you're in a relationship with, you are in a wrong relationship for sure. You should never feel scared of the person you say that you love, or a person who says that they love you. Now, yeah, so I quit that role, and many minor incidents happened, like not talking to some people. He used to literally give me timelines, like for the next 30 days you're not going to talk to any boys, or this is the next friend you have to break friendship with, or this is the next friend you will never talk with again. So this way things used to go on, and every time I would like lose a part of myself. And that was when I started reading extensively. I started my YouTube channel because I was feeling so damn lonely. Now, around the 11th standard, I found out that he went to hang out with some girl, which is really not that big of a deal, but he totally hid that incident from me for almost 2 months. So that was extremely dishonest. And secondly, I was not even allowed to talk properly to guys. I literally used to get timelines like, you're not going to talk to guys for 30 days or a few weeks, or this is the next guy you shouldn't talk with, or this is the next guy you will unfriend from Facebook or block from Facebook. Like, all that kind of bullshit that toxic relationships make you go through. So suddenly it was a big deal for me. I felt like I was betrayed because he hid that whole thing from me. And I was like, okay, this is over. Let's break up. And I broke up with him. The problem was that he kind of blackmailed me into getting back with him again. And this incident actually happened like in front of our class itself. Like, if any of my classmates are seeing this, they probably know about this incident already. Kind of started self-harming in front of every one of our class, which was goddamn scary. And even my friends got scared, and they were like, okay, he must really love you. He's self-harming because of you. That must mean he loves you. Once again, blackmail and love, no, not the same thing. Self-harm, love, not the same thing. But who would tell me or even my friends that? All of us thought that the best thing right then would be just to pacify him once again. At that point, I actually started having feelings for someone else, but I did not want someone to die or something because of that. Like, seeing him like that, self-harming in front of me, it was definitely the scariest thing that I've ever seen in my life. And just thinking about it, yeah. just I'll try to take my mind off that. So yeah, the thing is, no matter how I felt, I would always feel scared that he's going to do that thing once again. Like when you've seen someone self-harm right in front of your eyes and you know the reason is you just don't want to go through it anytime soon. So yeah, that was how the next 4 years of my life was spent, like just in fear that if I express who I truly am or what I truly feel, he'll do something like that. And no matter how much I went through, I wouldn't want someone to be hurt immensely because of that. Eventually I realized that no matter how much you try, people will be hurt when it's time for them to be hurt. But back then Sahili didn't know that. So coming back, I was just focusing myself more and more on work. I had my YouTube channel. It was not doing that well, but still I was happy with it. Then he suddenly told me that I should kind of stop posting videos on YouTube. He didn't like the fact that my face was out there on the internet and people were seeing me, which was total bullshit. And somehow I tackled that situation. I did not let go of YouTube, which is the best thing I've done for myself. That was the only time I didn't even listen to him at all. Other times when he would tell me that don't talk to this person, or don't wear this particular kind of dress, or don't go into this particular place without me, all of that I would use to listen to, just in the name of just not hurting him, feeling afraid that he's going to do something again. And another fear that was in my mind is that if someone can do that kind of things once, they probably can do it again, and I don't know where the next time will be. So I never wanted a next time for that whole incident of the 11th. And yeah, basically I would pacify him as much as I could. Hardest part of the whole thing was that he would get a little bit physically abusive as well towards me. I can't say it was something major, but again, it shouldn't even be minor. What happened is that there were a few incidents, out of which the one that has made the maximum impression on my mind is when he would gift me some bangles which were made of glass, and they were very pretty red bangles, and I was wearing them. It was Saraswati Puja in my school, and suddenly we had a fight for some kind of reason, and where every time we used to have a fight and I was nearby, he would like hold me real tight, and he held my hand super tight, and I was wearing glass bangles. You know what happened? It literally broke, and it like got into my skin, and it was really scary because he gifted those bangles to me just a few days before, and then it was that. Another time I had a beautiful spect that he broke because I was talking to a guy he did not like that much. He was just a friend. I was talking with him, and during the school carnival, a lot of these events happened in school carnival, to be honest. So I was talking to R. Suddenly he comes, he starts pulling my bag. Literally I let go of my bag because I'm scared it'll hurt me. Then he opens my specs and he kind of breaks my specs. Sure, he didn't consciously ever want to hurt me, but he would struggle very hard with that whole emotion that would probably come inside him. It was probably in his basic nature to get aggressive when he fought, which is why it was really scary for me to be with him. I was not, if it's not clear by now, I was not in love with him. In 2019 beginning, I actually told him that I think I'm not in love with you anymore, and I think breakup would be the best thing for both of us to do. You need to understand this. And as understanding he's tried to be, he was not ready to break up. And every time we would talk about breakup, he would start crying violently. And he did get much better than the 11th standard, though he didn't do anything like self-harming then. So yeah, that was one reassurance. So I was like, but the fact that I saw him crying would keep reminding me of the 11th things, and every time he has hurt me, and I would just say, okay, let's be the way we are. Until like I couldn't take it anymore, I would just sit down on my bed every day after the day was over, and I would start crying because where the hell was my life leading? Here I am in a relationship that I don't want to be in. I also had very strong feelings for someone, which I had to suppress because I did not want to be unloyal to anyone. At the end of the day, I did not even want to be in that relationship that I was in. I was there because I was scared. That was literally the only reason that I was in that relationship, that I was scared. Anyway, throughout 2019, I struggled a lot between like fighting with my mind and my heart, like what should I do? Should I leave him? Should I let him cry and do whatever he wants because I don't really care about him anymore? Or should I just stay because I've stayed so many years and it just won't be fair to leave him right now? And all of that used to go through my mind a lot. I asked some friends friends who really helped me a lot. It's really easy to say that everything bad that happened to me was because of him, but I would say a big reason was me, that I did not know a lot of things and I was not aware of a lot of things, and I used to hate myself for that. Now that I'm growing up, I'm evolving, I've realized that it's okay. I did not know then, I know now. I was not grown up then, I have grown up a lot more now. And now I'm much more conscious about the things I do, and I know why I'm doing certain things or why I'm not doing certain things. This whole experience and leading until the breakup towards the end of 2019 has been one of the biggest parts of my life, and honestly, I'm really happy with where I am right now. I'm finally happy with my life wherever I am. Last year, I was doing very well professionally, to be honest. I was reaching many new milestones, but I was not happy in my personal life. And this was the reason why, because I was in a relationship that didn't want to be in the first place. A big dilemma that I had was that during school life he was much worse than he was in the past year or two. He actually became, I would like to believe, a better person, but the kind of things that happened in school, they were always on my mind, and when I would see the person, they would come back to my mind again. People say that forget the past, but whenever I would look at him, it would remind me that because of him, I lost so many opportunities. Because of him, I lost so many friends. And because of him, I have certain memories that don't let me sleep at night properly if they come to my mind ever again. So yeah, it was just not worth it, like hampering my mental health just to keep a promise that I had made like 5 or 6 years ago. So yeah, I broke it off. I still remember after breaking off that relationship, I was finally free. I'm coming home by auto, and the breeze is on my face, and I'm like, wow, I'm free. That was a feeling that I hadn't had in like such a long time. Right now, I'm still, to be honest, I'm still working on loving myself completely. There are still things that make me feel like I'm a bad person. I hate myself and all of that. But overall, I feel that everything that happens in someone's life helps them in certain ways, and it's really hard for me to find a silver lining in these things, to be honest. There are certain things that I've learned from all this. Number one, don't underestimate yourself. You are literally the most precious person in the world, and if someone makes you feel like you are not, dump them. Don't let anyone take away your dreams and ambitions from you, because they are literally the only original thing that you have in your life. And lastly, the biggest thing that I have learned from that whole experience is that if people say that, okay, it was just something minor, it was just minor abuse, or it was just a little bit toxic, so what? They love you. Love should not be abusive. Love means caring for someone, nurturing someone, and if someone is hurting you, that's literally the opposite. So if someone is doing that, it's not love. It can be like codependency, it can be like unhealthy attachment, it can be a trauma bond, but it's not love. It's not love. Love is a much more beautiful feeling, and it should be much more peaceful than that. So yeah, I just wanted to make this video because I think a lot of you guys can relate, and a lot of you guys might be able to kind of get out of bad relationships if you feel like your relationship is getting toxic and it's not gone to a level that it can't be worked on, then definitely you can talk about it. By all means, try to talk it out, make it work. But if you feel that it has reached that threshold where there's no coming back, please just quit it. Because one of the biggest mistakes I did was that thinking that, okay, the past is gone and it's gonna change, but it never changed. It never changed. And yeah, it obviously took me time to figure all of that out, but I'm glad I did. And yeah, thank you so much for listening to me. I feel so good after sharing all this with you. It was really not as hard as I thought it'll be. It's surprising. If you have anything to say, please leave it in a comment below. Your support really means the world to me, and yeah, that you have stuck till now really proves to me that you care about me. Thank you so much. You can follow me on my Instagram at @theharryblog if you want to stay connected with my regular life. But yeah, this was a really hard video to make, but I'm so glad I made it. Bye bye.